Have you ever felt as an empath that there's so much more that you could be doing to help the world? Well, in this video, I'm going to explain a little bit about the body of 9 and how knowing that information can help you optimize your gifts and learn about other people's gifts. When I first learned about the body of 9 in 2015, I accidentally came across it. I was the executive director of a nonprofit organization, and I saw an ad for the body of 9 in a newsletter. So I went ahead and clicked on it, and I found out that it was an organization, it is an organization that, based on enneagrams and martial arts, these people were able to come up with a physiological natural number for everyone. And everybody fits into one of these 9 physiological centers. And what I learned through going through some workshops and delving into the meat of the whole thing, I learned that I am a natural number 9. And I have a list here that I'm going to read of their natural numbers. The natural number 1 is acceptance, appreciation, and connection. The natural number 2 is relationships, engagement, and movement. The natural number 3 is inspiration, drive, and focus. The natural number 4 is alignment, authenticity, and a deep connection. The natural number 5 is experience, knowledge, and understanding. Number 6 is significance, aliveness, and action. Number 7 is change, honesty, and possibility. And number 8 is integrity, safety, and trust. And number 9 is harmony, integration, and balance. And what I learned through the process over the last 9 years is that it really made a difference in my life. And 9 years ago, I was really focused on other people's emotions and how they were affecting me and what I was going to do about it and how to protect myself from it. But when I started checking into these other natural numbers, I began to understand people in a different way. And with that understanding, I was able to, deviate from the emotions that I was feeling from other people. And I learned not to focus so much on people's emotions, but their energy and where they were coming from, and understanding these different types of physiological differences and how they affected everybody else. And I was able to improve my relationships with my friends, my family, my kids by this understanding. In addition to that, this organization teaches you how to activate those other centers within you so that you can see the world from someone else's point of view. For example, I am a natural energy 9, which means I kind of have a universal outlook on things and the big picture and bringing people together and creating things anew, versus, for example, the number 6, and I have quite a few friends who are 6, and they're able to really center and really focus, and they see the world basically through this part of their body, the center part of their body. And I tell you what, they can manifest almost anything. And with the understanding of these information centers in people's bodies and how they communicate, I was able to be less offended by other people and less affected by other people's emotions. I really can't explain that to any degree. All I know is it just happened. And by experiencing all of these different kinds of natural energies, it awoke a lot of things in my body. It made me see things differently. It made me see the world differently. I was able to interact with people or not because I could tell where they were coming from. And I used my skills as an empath to be able to do that, along with the information that they provided. Being an empath, I was able to to put that together with the emotions that I was feeling about other people. And I realized that I was getting upset, for example, with my friends who were sixes, because sixes don't have to look people in the eye when they communicate. People who have natural numbers 1 through 4 like a direct eye contact. The numbers 5 through 8 don't need a direct eye contact. And so when speaking with the number 6, say that you're a number 2 and they're not looking at you and getting information, the 2s don't think that people are listening to them, but they really are. So I was able to understand a little bit better that I needed to look people in the eye if I picked up on if they were through the 1s, through the 4s. And I wasn't really comfortable with that. The last thing I wanted to do was look people in the eye, being an empath, because I'm already feeling what they're feeling, and I really didn't want to see what was in their soul. But I learned to be able to look people in the eye and to look the right people in the eye, because some people aren't comfortable with that. And so my theory is with empaths, if we can do that with the natural numbers 1 through 9, and we can activate those different parts of our body. And it's a physiological, it's a posture, it's how you stand and how you can brace yourself. Some of it was absolutely amazing. Actually, all of it is absolutely amazing. But it's my belief that empaths, we're all broken down into what type of empath we are. If you're a plant or an animal, or you're clairvoyant, or whatever test that you've taken, or the knowledge that you have that shows you what kind of empath you are. Well, I believe that empaths can teach other empaths to use the gift that they have, because it's all inside of us. All that information is inside of us, and it just needs to be activated. And so my theory is that empaths can help other empaths activate those parts of their bodies, because, and I think it's important, because we're so divided. You know, a lot of what's going on in the world is based on division. And even with empaths, we're divided up into these little groups of, well, you do plants and you do animals and you do this and you do that. And I think that we could all learn to all do it together in a more universal point of view, which will increase our authenticity, which will raise our awareness about ourselves and the world around us. I believe that our gifts are so special and we are unique in every single way. But if we can combine our skills and stop being separated and stop saying, I'm this or I'm this or I'm this or I'm that, then we can make a lot of difference in the world, and we can serve people a lot better, and we can help the world raise their consciousness by not dividing ourselves. Within the body of 9, I didn't want to be misunderstood. Everybody is individual, and they all have their certain skills, and they are that natural number. Nothing will ever change that, but it doesn't mean that we can't change the skills that we have. I have watched my friends who are the natural number 6, and I have watched them manifest things, good and bad, and I've watched them do that, and I've learned how they think and how their body moves and how they process information, and I've learned how to manifest a little bit better from them. And the number 1s are, and like I said, it's all on a posture, and the number 1s have their chins slightly tilted up, but they see the world as beautiful and loving and kind, and they have a really hard time seeing the world in any other way, which I think a lot of empaths might be number 1, because they want to see the world for the best that there is, but that's not all that there is. And you also have to take into considerations, background and history and family and trauma. I mean, all this plays into one big picture. But I'll say an example with, I have another friend who is a 4, and she can really center herself and stay focused. And she's like that naturally. And I really like being around her because when I'm around her, I can pick up on that and I become more calm and more centered and more authentic. And with her, on the flip side, I bring her out. I bring her out of that shell merely by being around each other. And so we complement each other that way, and we understand each other because she also went to the course and went through the identifications, is what they call them. And so in each instance in my relationships, I've been able to improve on them. I've been able to understand them. And I can get into a body posture of, say, someone who is an 8, who is a very earthly person. They get their connection from the ground. And so if I'm feeling really scattered, I will take that posture. I will take that body posture to calm myself down and get centered. And it can be done pretty quick because the 8s can do that pretty quick. And so if you can learn how to do that and get that physiological structure and posture, then you can do that too. All the 9 numbers have a certain posture, and that's what activates it. It activates it, but it doesn't put you into where they're at with a lot of experience because it's their natural number. And another thing is most of the time in the families, there's not anybody who has the same natural number as anybody else. And it's really important. They've done some great work with parenting and schools and teachers say that a parent is a number 5 who is intellectual and thinks, but they have a child who is a number 2 who needs nurturing and caring. It's important for the parent to realize that, and that the child, isn't just being defiant. That's who they are, and that's how they communicate, and that's what they need. And I think empaths are very similar that way. We all have our needs and what we expect out of life, or what we expect from other people. And in addition to feeling the emotions that are coming after us, like I said, I was able to put that as a secondary. I utilize that. I don't want to say use, but I do use it, and it comes more naturally now. I really don't have to think about it as much because I'll use that information, and I don't really get overwhelmed in parties or crowds that much anymore. There's a preference that I have of not to go and be in those environments, but I can go. I'm more focused on telling, seeing what person is, I pick up on their natural numbers almost more than I do their emotions now. And I've also learned from other empaths of how to tune in, and be more clairvoyant. And I've learned from other empaths how to, really check in with nature and feel that nature. And pets, I read pets and animals really well. And sometimes, in an open space, there will be, dogs will just run up to me because they know that who I am, and they know that I'm harmless. And that's a really good feeling. But I think empaths need to start sharing and quit being divided so much, because this is all energy. Yet remember that this is all energy. Everything is energy. And so you can do what your friend can do if there's an empath. You just have to learn how. And like I said, I think that we can better serve the world if we become rounded and we combine all of our skills all together, and we can use all of our gifts and make a difference in the world and serve people better. And once you pick up on how to do that, it's not quite as overwhelming, because at first it's like a fireworks going off. It's just like boom, 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 boom. And it can be a little hard to manage. But once you learn these natural numbers, and once you learn about the empaths, and even if we combine all of that, it's a wonderful world, and it's great to be able to be authentic. I can be more of myself now because I know what I'm putting out into the world, and I also know what I'm taking in from the world. And in this video, I went over the body of 9 and the 9 different body types, and how people can interact with that knowledge about those natural numbers that these people have put a lot of time and effort into discovering, and I believe in it. And then I also went over how empaths can use each other's knowledge and each other's skills and teach each other how to do what they do. And quit being divided. We need to become all one. And maybe you don't want to do the things that other people do, that's fine. But remember, you are not divided. You are not separated. You are on this earth for free will, and you can manifest whatever you want to manifest. And if you like this video, like and subscribe, and we'll catch you next time.